This is the Chad Factor back at you again with another YouTube video. Sorry, folks, it has been a long time, but I've been working, traveling. I actually was driving to Alabama yesterday, so I can figure out where to move to since there's chaos in this state right now and it looks a bit cheaper. So, I'm doing what it do. But this video is about a few things. It's about why I support the Truth and Freedom movement, which is InfoWars, and why I support the Second Amendment and gun rights. Now, I know people say, things, Alex is a conspiracy theorist, or Alex is this or that, or a COINTELPRO agent. Regardless of how you feel, his coverage on certain aspects, like Ferguson, like amnesty, um, like the situation in California right now is pretty much gold right now because the rest of the mainstream media is still swirling around Ferguson. I think they barely even talked about what's going on in California right now. So I think their coverage of the situations that are impacting the country, such as Ferguson, California, have been good. So I mean that's why I do it, and he does have good guests on to talk about different issues like amnesty, like the American dollar going down, um, like the corruption of government that's happening in this country. So I believe that he's doing a good job of that. So that's why I give respect to that. But another thing I really want to talk about is why I support the Second Amendment and why I am for um, arming oneself. Now, the reason I'm going to go into this because there was a situation. These situations are popping up where young black teens are getting shot by white or Hispanic cops or neighborhood watchmen, and it seems like the liberal media is trying to make blacks say, if you um, don't get rid of guns, then these racist cops are going to kill you. But at the same time, only racist cops should have guns, which is a hell of a stupid statement. But what I'm trying to tell you is that we do need guns. As black people, we should know that living in a gun controlled society is very, very terrible and very, very bad. Learning the history of gun control, which has pretty much a lot to do with us. And the fact of the matter is, when you have this, you don't look at history. And when you don't look at history, you don't look at the fact that without guns and black people to protect themselves, the civil rights movement would have never happened. Martin Luther King had bodyguards. There was a chapter across the South to defend the protesters of the civil rights movement who were called the Deacons of Self-Defense. You also had Robert F. Williams and the Black Panther Party defend themselves against racist cops and undesirable black people or black thugs. So when I hear all that a huge conglomerate of black people don't like being around guns or support gun control, it's a fallacy knowing the history of how we were in the worst situation of that and how gun control centers around not letting us have the guns. And people keep saying, and they actually compared this to the Bundy Ranch. The Young Turks did a story saying that, you know, if black people had guns in Nevada, if the Bundy Ranch was all black people, then they would get shot down by the federal government. But what I'm continuously seeing, and this is what I'm going to get into, there's a group called the Huey P. Newton Gun Group, which is an all-black group. You doing the open and carry, and they actually carry guns because of the brutality with Eric Gardner, with Mike Brown, with people from New York, Trayvon Martin. So now they're arming themselves to protect themselves. And they sat right next to the police in the donut shop and didn't do anything, and the police didn't do anything. The narrative is, if black people just arm themselves, they'll just get killed off and just die. I mean, Robert F. Williams traveled all the way to China, when he was almost arrested because he didn't kidnap those two witnesses, but he lived till he was in his 80s. I mean, he used guns against the Klan and against the racist cops, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are both passed away. So the whole argument saying that if black people use arms to defend themselves and we shouldn't be involved in that issue because it doesn't matter to us, it does matter. Because when they take away the guns, tyranny, ensure a different kind of slavery, government slavery, will ensue if you let all the police, the militarization police, and the rich people and all these people have the guns if you can't have weapons to protect yourself. Once they take away all that crap, it's done. And you'll never can get your freedom back, and you'll always be dependent on them and slave. But also on the Clive and Bundy, people were saying, and yes, what he said was blatantly disrespectful and dishonorable, saying that. But in the context he was saying it, I can see how he was trying to say it, because I've heard Farrakhan and others say it, that we were more self-sufficient after slavery and before integration. So if you said it like that, it would be more respectable. So that's why people have to back away from that. But picking cotton and all the other stuff. But when he said about the babies and everything else, I can actually agree. And he was actually talking about going against going against not amnesty, but actually letting more illegals in because it's their land. He actually said that in the same speech. But the whole situation are the feds coming to the land to actually dispose of him and his family. Because you look at the clips, the police were actually beating his family and everything like that. So this is why I compare these two, because people kept saying that if black people were the Bundy Ranch, right, they would have gotten shot down. This situation in Texas proves that wrong. Proves it wrong 1,000%. So it's been proven wrong. We need to get with the program and get pro Second Amendment and start with the BS. Shout out to Cap the Black. Shout out to the black conservatives, to the black people who get a shout out to Dana Lush. Shout out to people who actually get with the program and know the history. I'm going to sing the history of the Deacons of Self-Defense and what happened and how we did defend ourselves as a group of people. But this whole gun control thing, this whole pushing of gun control, no stand your ground, we need to utilize the law ourselves and use the Second Amendment. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid, folks. All right? Stop drinking the white liberal Kool-Aid and get it. Don't be anti-gun. Support the Truth and Freedom movement. And get with the program, folks. We can use it too. Everybody needs to use it as a country. This is the Chad Factor out. Thank you very much.